I studied with many people, you know, but mainly my training is classical. I studied the whole classical career in the Dominican Republic, and then when I moved to New York, I went and studied with Jacob Latiner, who was a faculty member at Juilliard, and he was an incredible teacher. So that's why I always say I have two piano techniques. One that I learned in the Caribbean, another one I learned in New York. And I just take the best of each one. And then after that I was always very much into big bands and orchestral writing. So I became a student of Don Sevesky and studied with him a whole year, orchestration and big band writing. And that's why I wrote for big band for my album One More Once. And I still take the big band around the world. And there is an album that is out in Europe and Japan right now. It's called Caribe, which is a live performance of my big band, which is one of the best, I think, moments of my life. With an all-star band, you know, John Faris on the trumpet and Gary Smulyan on baritone, great players, all of them. Yeah, you know, I've been lucky. I can take him on the road with me. I take him on the road at least once a year. I took him to Japan last year, and we did like 12 performances in Tokyo. It was amazing. And then Osaka as well. And, you know, once in a while I bring them out. I hope that I can bring them out again next year. But it's always good, because, you know, I always think of my trio as a mini orchestra. So the whole concept of me writing for the big band was to translate my trio music into the large ensemble. And it's really great when it comes together, especially with the great players. Oh yeah, by all means. Thank God for that. That's what keeps us alive, you know, all the jazz players. We go around the world many times. I play now an average of between 90 and 100 concerts a year, all the major festivals, and not only the major festivals, but very important. There's a new phenomenon since like 5 years ago, which is that the music series now in the world are inviting the jazz players. That used to be the case, you know, so we get billed within their framework of great performers, which is very unique. You know, I get to play a lot of like solo piano concerts, recitals around the world in the big halls, 2,000 seaters, acoustic, no microphones whatsoever. And you know, they asked me specifically, don't play anything classical. We know you can do it, but we want you to play jazz. I said, well, okay, but I can play Chopin, I can play, no. You have to play jazz here, okay? So I go out there, just like classical recital, full of people, you know, and I do my thing, and people really love it. You know, it's amazing how the audience is open now to jazz players taking the place within all these big music series. By all means, yeah, definitely. And you know, I get to play also a lot with symphony orchestras now around the world, because I've written 2 piano concertos. And the first one was a commission by the National Symphony Orchestra of the Kennedy Center and Leonard Slatkin, because he was a big jazz fan, and he saw me at the Blue Note, and one night he just knocked on my door and said, write a piano concerto, I'll conduct it. And he commissioned that one, and we premiered at the Kennedy Center. And it's been a big hit. I played it already 100 times around the world. And now I recorded it in London with him conducting the BBC Symphony. And now I just finished my second piano concerto, which was a commission by the Tenerife Auditorium in the Canary Islands. And I'm starting to play it. The US premiere is going to be next month in Detroit with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. No, we just do an extra rehearsal, you know, so that we manage to get the rhythms straight. But you know, they love the pieces and they love the challenge of a new repertoire. And let's face it, you know, there are so many performer composers around that can be there and tell them how the piece goes, you know, and help them out and give them the information. And you know, no, I heard the wrong note here, I heard the wrong note. No, that's not the note, you know, and let's change this, and a little more fourth piano here, forte there, you know. And they love it. They love to have the one-to-one basis with the composer. And then I have to change my hat and wear the performer and forget about them and let the conductor have it. He's awesome. It's incredible. And that's so good, you know, and at the end of the day, it reminds me of the great saying by Duke Ellington, only 2 types of music. Great music and not so good music. That's it. And you know, I believe in that. Music is to be shared. It's about life. It's about who you are and what you can share with your audience. Hi, this is Michel Camilo here at the Newport Jazz Festival, and we're having a great time. Thanks for watching us, and you can check out more of my colleagues and more fun, more jazz at jazztimes.com.